Hi, guys. So, I see that some of us are struggling with parts of speech, okay? So, let's start with one part of speech in this video. Maybe we'll do more if we have enough time. So, the part of speech that we're going to talk about today is a verb. What exactly is a verb? A verb is something that you can do. So verbs always tell us about an action. What is an action? An action is simply something that you do. So if you can do it, it is an action. And if it is an action, then it is called a verb. So in some of your sentences, your teachers will ask you to identify your verbs. So what do you have to do when you have to identify a verb in a sentence? All you have to do is look for what the action in the sentence is, okay? So remember, a verb is something that you can do. If you can do it, it is called an action. If it is an action, then it is a verb. So let's think about some examples of verbs. So what do you do with a book? You read a book, right? So in the sentence, I read a book. What is the action? The action is read, because read is the action. It's the thing that you are doing in that sentence. I read a book. So the action in the sentence is the word read. So if you have to find your verb in the sentence, I read a book, you just think about what is the action in that sentence. And that action was read in the sentence, I read a book. Okay? So in the sentence, I am reading a book. What is the action? The action in the sentence, I am reading a book, is reading. So reading will be the action word. It will be the thing that you are doing in the sentence, okay? So most of your verbs you will identify or you will remember your verbs by that most of them actually end with an I and an N and a G. Ing. So most of your words, actually almost all of your words that end with an ing, those are your verbs in your sentences most likely. So if you think about a word like reading, walking, talking, laughing, speaking, those words end in ing. And those words are talking about things that you can do. And remember, things that you can do are action words. So action words are verbs. So everybody will be able to now identify what a verb is and also be able to tell us in your own words what a verb is. So if I have to ask you, what is a verb? A verb is something that you can do. And if it is something that you can do, then it tells us about an action. And every action in a sentence is a verb. So verbs are action words. Actions are things that you do. So what other verbs can we think of? So it's not that all verbs end with ing. But if you see a word that ends with ing, that word is most likely a verb. But there are some verbs that do not end with ing. Say like read is an action, but it does not end with ing. So read is also a verb just because it is something that you can do. Talk is a verb because it's something that I am doing right now. If I talk to you, the action is me having a conversation with you. I talk to you, right? So talk is a verb. If I take my pencil and I write you a letter, the word write is talking about an action that I am doing using my pen and my paper. And the action is to write, right? So write is also a verb. What other verbs can we think of? I drink my water. Drink is a verb. Drink is something that I can do. And so anything that you can do is an action, and any action is a verb. Okay? Some verbs can end with ing, and some verbs don't necessarily end in ing. What else can I do? I can eat. I eat my food. So eat is an action, something that I can do, and it is therefore a verb. Any action is a verb. Any action is something that you can do, and anything that you can do is a verb. So let's see, what other verbs can I think of? Sleep. Sleep is a verb. Jump is a verb. Hop is a verb. Pray is a verb. Sing is a verb. What else? What other verbs can we think of? Singing, walking, talking, sitting, playing, jumping, hopping. Those are all verbs. They are all actions. Eating, that is an action too. What else? Sleeping, that is an action too. So it's a verb. What else can we think of? What else can we think of? Bath and bathing. So I bath. Bath would be the verb in the sentence. I bath at night. Okay? I bath in the morning. I bath at night. So bath is an action, but bathing is also an action. So bath and bathing are both verbs. What other verbs can we think of? What other verbs? What verbs can you think of? What actions can you think of? We already said sleep. We already said talk. We already said walk. We already said jump. We already said hop. We already said read. What else? What else? Shopping is a verb. What else? Shopping. Exercising is a verb. It's an action, so it's a verb. What else can we think of? What other verbs? What other actions? What actions can you think of that I have not already mentioned, or that I have not already said? Braiding. I'm braiding my hair. That is an action. So if I am braiding my hair, it's an action that I am doing, and so it's a verb. I am braiding my hair, and braid is also an action, so it's also a verb, right? What other verbs can we think of? Watching. I am watching a movie. So watching is a verb, and watch is also a verb. What else can we think of? What else can we think of? I ring the bell. Ring, in the sentence, I ring a bell. The word ring would be the action. It is the action of you ringing the bell. So ring, I ring the bell is an action, and ringing, I am ringing the bell. That's also an action, so that's a verb. What other verbs can we think of? What other verbs can we think of? I'll leave the rest to you to think about. Okay, so I hope we understand verbs now.